Hi, I'm Jackie McLaughlin. You're very welcome. Today, our focus is on sleeping well. And maybe you're like the cute little baby in the blue hammock here, but I don't know. I haven't found that to be the case. It's more along the lines of I've had a long day, and maybe you've had this same situation where it's been an incredibly long day. You're exhausted. You go in and wash your teeth, clean your face, put on your nice soft cozy jammies and climb into bed, hoping to drift off to sleep. And you lie there and your eyes are wide open. You can hear the ticking clock in the quiet room. And you just know that you have to get to sleep. But it's just not coming. Sleep is eluding you. Or maybe you have situations more along these lines where you've had that really long day and you fall into bed and you fall asleep so easily, and you wake up and your eyes open and it's still dark. You're warm and cozy, but you're not sleeping. You look over at the clock and it says 2:30 in the morning. And you know you have to get back to sleep, but it just eludes you. And then the next morning, when it's time to get up, the sun finally comes up. And you just are tired. It's hard to get out of bed. And you have a full day. So it just makes it even harder. Let's talk about how to change that. If you have sleeping challenges, you're not alone. I've been there. Your neighbor's been there more than likely. 10 to 15% of people at some point in their lives have insomnia. And I was doing some research on this, and according to the Irish Heart Foundation, 40% of people who have heart conditions report having insomnia. But what is insomnia? Insomnia is where you have difficulty going to sleep or staying asleep. And it negatively affects you in other parts of your life. It also affects your health. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But you can have acute insomnia where it's just for a short time. If you have a lot of worries, a lot of stress going on, you may find that you have difficulty sleeping, and that would be acute insomnia. Whereas if it goes on, and the technical definition for it was if you have 3 or more nights per week for 3 months, that's chronic insomnia. Oh my goodness. I remember when I had chronic insomnia, I could not function during the day and my health suffered. So having insomnia is more than just being tired. It's a health issue. So let's look a little bit at why. Because not only do we not feel well, it impacts us. I was listening to a TED Talk when I was doing my research, and the gentleman was talking about how he ended up in A&E over lack of sleep. Very interesting talk. I put the video for it up on my Facebook page just today. So if you're interested, you can check it out and see the techniques that he suggests for helping improve your sleeping. It was very interesting. So why is insomnia or not sleeping well important? And it can affect us in so many ways, but I'm going to keep it short and just talk about 4 ways. It can decrease our performance, whether we're doing studying or at work, in an office or working at home, because we're not as effective. We make mistakes. We don't take information on as well. So we can actually fail at work or in our studies. And this isn't just for adults. Teenagers and children can also suffer with sleep problems. And it's even more common, unfortunately, in women who are over 60. It's much more common. So it's not an issue where it's just one time in our life and then it's gone. These are issues that can recur at different points. So that was the first of 4 points that I'm raising. The second one is we're at a higher risk of accidents. We're not functioning as well when we're sleep deprived or we have insomnia. And these accidents, they can be whether you're driving a car and you have a crash, God forbid, but it can also be if you're walking down the street and you trip over something because you don't see it. It could also be you're in your kitchen and you're not doing as well and you burn yourself or have another type of personal accident. So all these things are more common when we're not well rested. And then more pressing in a longer term sense, we can have increased incidence of mental health disorders such as depression, anxiety, and these are bad enough without tossing on sleep deprivation, but not being well rested can actually make us more predisposed to have challenges. So I'm really making it clear that we need to get our rest, but how do we do that? Because if we don't, we can also have long-term health conditions. When we sleep, our bodies and our minds repair. So if we're not sleeping, we're not repairing and rejuvenating. This can mean that our immune system suffers, and that leaves us open to a whole range of difficulties. But it can also raise our blood pressure and give us heart concerns. And I don't know about you, but when I'm more tired, I don't eat as well. So my diet gets worse and it can lead to things like diabetes and all that. So that's the so what. Let's talk about how we can ease our difficulties with sleep. Soothing ourselves to sleep. We've done this since we were babies. Our thumbs. I invite you to hold your thumb, left or right, just gently, lovingly, easily. And relax. Drop your shoulders. Breathe. Let go of the tension. And I invite you to continue holding your thumb, practicing Jin Shin Jyutsu, while I talk for a bit about what Jin Shin Jyutsu is. Because as you can see here from this picture of the very cute toddler, this toddler is also using their innate wisdom to help themselves, because by sucking their thumb, they're helping to harmonize the energies in their body. It helps us to relax to get better sleep. It also supports our immune system, and emotionally it decreases our worries. So there's lots of benefits from harmonizing the energy, as we say in Jin Shin Jyutsu, by holding our thumb and helping our body to remember how the energy used to flow, how it used to be before we were tense or sleepless or worried. So just hold your thumb. You probably don't want to suck your thumb like a toddler, but holding our thumb has the same benefits for us. I've mentioned Jin Shin Jyutsu a few times. Those of you who are familiar with Jin Shin Jyutsu would know this wonderful story that I'm about to tell you. Those of you who are new, you're very welcome. Jin Shin Jyutsu is a word and a modality from Japan. In the 20th century, Jiro Murai, his picture is here, developed a new way of helping ourselves, of harmonizing the energies in our body and being better. He did this through case studies and through studying the ancient texts and the wisdom, and he also checked things out and developed his own personal understanding of how to help ourselves, how I can help myself, how you can help yourself. And we can do this just with our hands and our breath. Now, Jiro Murai wasn't alone. He was the founder, but he had students. And one of the key students was Mary Burmeister. She was in Japan for a while, living and working, and Jiro Murai gave her this wonderful gift to bring to the West. And she took that back to America after a few years and has been developing it further since then. One of the things that they looked at, and is a core tenet of Jin Shin Jyutsu, is the meridians, the energy flow pathways in our bodies. And these are the same ones that you would find that acupuncturists use and reflexologists use. So it's very well known and widely understood. I'm still learning about it, even though I've been studying Jin Shin Jyutsu and practicing since 2012. It's really coming along, and I understand more and more each year, and I love studying it. So how can you bring Jin Shin Jyutsu into your life? Well, you're doing it right now, holding your thumb. I'm going to change my thumb to my other side. And you can bring Jin Shin Jyutsu into your life by learning how to help yourself, doing self-care. And this can be done in a class by studying books. There's information on the web. And you can also have a one-to-one session where you learn the best ways to help yourself with your personal concerns and your needs. So I would think of it very much like a yoga class, because when I go to my yoga class, the teacher is showing me things that can help myself, and I'm doing it along with her. We're practicing yoga together, and then as I learn more and I take it and practice at home, I can continue self-care at home. This is the same way. We practice together, you learn more, and you can take it home with you. That's one of my favorite parts about Jin Shin Jyutsu, because if you're going for sessions for other modalities, often you just have to keep going back for the sessions, whereas with Jin Shin Jyutsu, you can help yourself. In addition to the yoga aspect of it, the learning for self-care, you can also receive sessions from a trained practitioner. And this is along the lines of going for an acupuncture treatment or a massage or Reiki or reflexology, where you go and receive the benefits of the session. And similar to acupuncture, but different because there's no needles with Jin Shin Jyutsu. Similar but different to Reiki because we hold set patterns, very much like people who practice Reiki do, but we actually have a more diverse, targeted way of helping the body because we're working with the energetic meridians and the flow pathways. It's also different from a massage because to get a massage, it's skin on skin, so you have to take your clothes off, whereas with Jin Shin Jyutsu, you keep your clothes on, you go under a nice warm fluffy blanket and just relax. And then it's also different from the other modalities. It's very special. So I invite you to experience more Jin Shin Jyutsu in your life. Before our time ends today, I'm going to share with you 2 more tips that will help you to sleep well. When we are tired and stressed, often we have excess energy built up in our bodies. One of the ways that we can release that energy is by placing our hands on our waist and clearing the energy out, allowing it to flow. So if you put one hand just at the bottom of your rib cage and the other hand on your opposite elbow, and just rest your hands there. This helps the body to remember that the energy should descend the front and to help you to relax. Sometimes I do this when I'm lying in bed and I'm not quite sure when I stop because I've fallen asleep. When I wake up the next morning, I know that Jin Shin Jyutsu has helped me again. And similar to when you're holding your hands, you can do it in this way. You can also do the reverse, whichever you're most comfortable with. So that's another way to help you be better and sleep better. And then the last tip that I'm going to share with you today is another way to help us rest. This uses a specific safety energy lock on our body. I haven't mentioned those before, so I'll say just a short bit about those. Safety energy locks are living energy centers on our bodies that have specific purposes and functions to help us in our lives and to be well. When these areas are congested or tense, it means that our energy isn't flowing, and it's our body telling us, excuse me, a little help here. And when you feel tension in a certain area, if you hold it lightly and hold it with other safety energy locks as well, or energy centers, it can help restore your body to harmony. Now, we have 52 of these energy centers in our body, 26 on the left, 26 on the right, and they are from head to toe, and they help with all the functions in our body. We actually have 144,000 functions in our bodies, and Jin Shin Jyutsu can help with all of those. So this particular safety energy lock is located on the back of our neck and skull on the occipital ridge, and you can just rest your hands back there and breathe and relax. Now, you can do this when you're sitting. You can do this if you're lying down. If you're lucky enough to have somebody around to hold this area, your fours, that can help you as well. I actually use this at the end of all the sessions that I do to help people come back into harmony and to feel better. So that's another option. And again, you can do that for a short while or you can do it for longer, whichever suits you. So now that we've done some Jin Shin Jyutsu, I feel a little bit more relaxed. Maybe you do too. I'd love to hear about that from you. And as specifically relating to sleep, the benefits of getting sleep and sleeping well are we're in a better mood, we have more energy, it helps our immune system, and it helps our memory. It helps how our brain works. So it helps us to remember things. And that's something we all want in our lives. So having Jin Shin Jyutsu as another tool in your toolkit can help you to have these benefits. I'll leave you today with a couple thoughts. And first of all, you can help yourself anytime, anywhere with Jin Shin Jyutsu. If you're holding your thumb, you can do that when you're watching the television. You can do it when you're on public transport, in a meeting. Even if you're having a cup of coffee with a friend when we can. And it's amazing that we can do this in such a simple way with things that we always have right at the end of our arms, at our fingertips. I have a free gift for you, actually 2 free gifts. First of all, I have a sheet done up with the information from today, and it's all set to go out. I'd love to send it to you. It gives you the tips that I've covered today, as well as a couple more, and it will help you to remember what you've learned today and how you can sleep better and be better. The other gift that I have for you is there's a main practice in Jin Shin Jyutsu that we use that helps all our functions. And it also can help us to sleep better. It's called, the short version of it is the main central. And I have information on my website that you'd be very welcome to check out. So it's useful to you to feel better and be better in your lives. So Jin Shin Jyutsu is for you. And if you'd like to experience more, you can get in touch, and you can find the information on the web if you're on the web. If you're not on the web, there's my phone number. And there's also information on social media. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day and that you sleep well. If the tips work for you, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much.